the Aki Sisters. Let's talk about them for a little bit, shall we? Because I think they're quite underrated when it comes to being goddesses. Now, allow me to address the elephant in the room. A lot of people say the Aki Sisters do not have strength because they're just minor goddesses who share their domain with a bunch of other goddesses. Now, there's one problem with that. They're the only autumn goddesses in all of Gensokyo. So by that logic alone, wouldn't that mean that they're getting all the faith of the people in Gensokyo? And we know that they do a yearly harvest. So naturally, people see them as the premier autumn goddesses. So if they're operating on faith, would that not dictate that they should be a lot more powerful than they actually are? Because not only are they some of the most popular gods in Gensokyo, because the human village actually likes them because they come around and they promise a good harvest, but they're not, what's the word, pushy like Kaneko is. They're not useless like the Hakare god is. And overall, they're just, a lot more present and a lot more interactive with humanity as a whole. And unlike the yokai, humans don't mind the goddesses coming around because they bring good tidings. But despite all that, the Aki Sisters are treated as absolute jokes. The Yamchas of the gods, if you will. Even worse than Mystia at times. At least Mystia has some good fan games. The Aki Sisters? No. They don't got anything like that. In fact, they're lucky to even be remembered. I don't think I remember the last time they've been relevant. Probably their debut game. If that. They showed up, got their butts beat, and then I was like, well, Zune is like, nah, even though they're goddesses, I'm just going to completely and utterly forget about them because I'm not a very good writer sometimes. So, in that case, let's talk about how strong they should be, because that's something that's been bothering me for a long time. Like, okay, so we know that Kaneko and Suwako came to Gensokyo along with Sane because they were lacking faith and they needed more faith. And they've done a pretty good job at regaining their strength. Not counting the times they got beat up in like Touhou 17.5, but we're not going to talk about that right now, are we? No, we're talking about the Aki Sisters. Now, what kind of powers should they have? Well, we know that, I believe it's Shizua, her ability is to paint leaves, was it? Yeah, it was to paint leaves. And I believe Minariko's ability was a minor ability to invoke harvest. I might be wrong on that. Correct me if I am, because again, that just shows how little they're cared about that I don't remember their abilities off the top of my head. But I know it's like something very minor, but with Touhou abilities, it could be like the ability to open a door, and that ability is allows you to break the game. So overall, I think when it comes to Gensokyo as a whole, that they should have considerable abilities. And given their faith and how the humans care about them and actually, worship them, unlike Kaneko, who actually gets most of her faith from the Tengu and Kappa, I think they should have like the ability to throw down with the best of them instead of just being minor Yamcha gods, because it just goes against the actual lore and structure. Like, yes, again, they're many nature gods, but where are the other nature gods then? If they're one of many, where are the other ones? Outside Gensokyo? Then it shouldn't matter. And if they are in Gensokyo, we aren't seeing them, thus they also don't matter. So in that logic, the Aki Sisters should be a lot more powerful than they actually are. And you could say, oh, well, it doesn't matter because Reimu would beat them anyways. True, because that's how the game works. But they should have been a lot higher ranked in the stages. At least higher than friggin' Nitori, okay? Because they're goddesses. But nope, they were treated like jokes. So that's kind of pathetic. So I guess I'm a bit of an Aki Sister stan, and I believe they deserve a lot better than they actually got. And overall, I think they could be a lot more utilized better, I believe the word is. Yeah, because right now they're about as useless as a degree is when you're trying to get a job. Because you're like, yes, I did a bachelor's degree, and you hand it to your employer, and you're like, that's nice, and they set it on fire. Because they're like, we want experience. So, going off on a tangent there. But yes, I genuinely do believe they deserve better. And If it interests you, I could go further in depth about this. I could go, what if they were relevant? Or, like, what would happen if they actually got, like, a shrine? Speaking of, that's a good idea. A shrine maiden for the Aki Sisters. Maybe that's what my character is. Maybe Remilia is the shrine maiden for the Aki Sisters. Can you imagine? That would be actually kind of awesome. But yes, that's about it for today's video. It's a 100th video. I guess I should have been more bombastic, but you know me, I just do what I want. Thank you for watching, and if you got this far, be sure to leave a like. I appreciate it. Until next time, bye-bye.